Good morning and welcome to worship for Sunday the 20th of September. I'm glad that you're taking the time to stop and share with us today. I believe that's important and have a sense that this last week, our fortnight, has been difficult for all of us as the restrictions that we're facing are tightened and as the way ahead seems more uncertain than it has been for perhaps a long time. A sense of taking 2 steps forward and 1 step backward, and that step backward really difficult for all of us to begin to cope with and to work through what we're doing. And a whole range of emotions that are around for us, I think, in the middle of that. Some of these faces may catch the way that you feel just now, but different emotions that are there in the midst of all of this. Aware of that, I took some time earlier this week to really sit down with God's Word and to begin to say, what is it out of this that speaks to us today? And I found myself at the start of this time back in the Psalms, and this time in Psalm 42. Now, some background before we start, because I think that will be helpful as we come to look at this psalm today. And we're going to do this instead of our look at the letter to the Philippians. A psalm that's entitled, "For the Director of Music, a Maskil of the Sons of Korah." Now, I imagine that makes probably very little sense to you. But a maskil is a piece that is written to be sung in parts. Something that was written as a communal piece, not a solo, but a piece that was written to catch the thoughts and the emotions, not just of the individual, but the thoughts and the emotions of the community of which they were part. It was written by the sons of Korah, a group of people who started as doorkeepers and custodians of God's house, and from that place became those who led the people in praise. One of their real gifts was in choral and orchestral music. So when the great Thanksgiving services were on the go in God's house, they had a central place and a central part in that, leading the people in praise. So here we have something written for God's people by those who lead the people in praise. But by the time we come to Psalm 42, and this is what resonates with where we are just now, they are in exile with David. David, as king, has found himself usurped by his son Absalom, who has taken the throne from him and has driven David away. The sons of Korah are with him. And they, along with David, have all these memories of the way it used to be. They look back with longing to Jerusalem and the time they stayed in Jerusalem, and they find themselves caught in despair. And this psalm and their predicament spoke to me as I read it, spoke to me of a deep longing for God and a deep longing for the way that things were, but a depth of longing that God is able to meet. So let's read together Psalm 42. For the director of music, a maskil of the sons of Korah. As the deer pants for streams of water, so my soul pants for you, my God. My soul thirsts for God, for the living God. When can I go and meet with God? My tears have been my food day and night, while people say to me all day long, where is your God? These things I remember as I pour out my soul, how I used to go to the house of God under the protection of the Mighty One, with shouts of joy and praise among the festive throng. Why, my soul, are you downcast? Why so disturbed within me? Put your hope in God, for I will yet praise him, my Saviour and my God. My soul is downcast within me. Therefore I will remember you from the land of the Jordan, the heights of Hermon, from Mount Mizar. Deep calls to deep in the roar of your waterfalls. All your waves and breakers have swept over me. By day the Lord directs his love. At night his song is with me, a prayer to the God of my life. I say to God, my rock, why have you forgotten me? Why must I go about mourning, oppressed by the enemy? My bones suffer mortal agony as my foes taunt me, saying to me all day long, where is your God? Why, my soul, are you downcast? Why so disturbed within me? Put your hope in God, for I will yet praise him, my Saviour and my God. Amen. A wonderful psalm, isn't it, that catches the feelings and emotions that are there for them, not in the place that they want to be any more than we are in the place that we want to be with the restrictions that are around us just now. And if you go on and read Psalm 43, you'll find that it's a continuation of Psalm 42 and ends with the same chorus that we find strung through this. Why, my soul, are you downcast? Why so disturbed within me? Put your hope in God. That sense that the psalmist has of catching what is there for them, but pointing the people to God, taking them from where they are and drawing them into God's presence. The writer can't do that for them in the tabernacle, which is the place that he was used to doing that, and the place where he would rather be doing it. But what he does is pens a song that they can sing in the place where they are, with all the pain and the longing and the heartache that's there. And he gives expression to it as he writes it. He writes a song that they can sing together, a song that's meant to be sung in parts, people singing it to one another and over one another. And what you catch is the psalmist's understanding that even though they are in this strange place, yet God is with them in this moment. They haven't left God behind in Jerusalem. God is with them. And how important for us to know that in the situation that we find ourselves in just now. God is with us. And the sons of Korah serve David and the people well as they give them new songs to sing in this strange land. And in fact, the whole of Psalm 42 right through to Psalm 49 are written by them, including Psalm 46, which is the psalm that we turned to at the start of lockdown. God is our refuge and strength, we heard, an ever-present help in trouble. And the chorus in that psalm, the Lord Almighty is with us, the God of Jacob is our fortress. This whole series of psalms written to point the people to God, to give them songs to sing in a foreign land, a land that is not of their choosing, and songs that catch how they feel, songs that allow them to express their emotions, and in the middle of all of that, to take hold of God. Now, these songs don't change their situation, don't lead them immediately back to Jerusalem, but they do change their perspective. And I think in these times, when we find ourselves in a strange land, in a sense, and when we feel that we've taken steps back into places where we would rather not be, and being warned about more steps that might be taken before we return to anything like normal, we need these psalms and these songs. or at least to catch what's at the heart of these psalms. And three things that are there that the psalmist expresses about the way that they feel. First of all, a longing for the past. These things I remember as I pour out my soul, how I used to go with the multitude leading the procession, he writes. I remember what it was like, the joy of being there in the tabernacle. He longs for the past. And in a sense we do too. I've often said to folk recently, I want my old life back. I long for the past. And we all, in a sense, wish that things were the way they were. And so the psalmist catches that for us, part of our feeling, longing for the past. Secondly, though they are despairing in the moment, my soul is downcast within me. He says throughout the psalm, that keeps coming up. And often there is that feeling for us of being downcast, eyes not lifted up but down, worried about what might come next. And then thirdly, he expresses a feeling of abandonment. I say to God, my rock, why have you forgotten me? And there can be times like that for us, even as people of faith, those moments when we wonder where God is and why this is happening, times when we don't feel as secure as we might at other times. This psalm catches all three of these things, catches the feelings and emotions that are around and points them back to God. Deep calls to deep is what he writes. In the roar of your waterfalls, all your waves and breakers have swept over me. By day the Lord directs his love. At night his song is with me. He speaks of being able to go to bed at night secure. And this song in so many ways allows the people to acknowledge where they are, the depths of the feeling that are there for them, and it's important that they do that and we do that too, and yet also encourages them in the midst of all that's there to reach out to God and to discover that God is there for them with and in this moment, in the middle of the hard time. A deep need met by a God with deep resources. Deep cries out to deep. And so, may you find God meeting you where you are today. May you find ways of expressing how you feel. That's what this psalm is all about, not burying the feelings, but expressing them. And may you discover the deep needs within you, met by a God with infinite resources. And may you rest in him. Why, my soul, are you downcast? Why so disturbed within me? Put your hope in God, for I will yet praise him, my Saviour and my God. Shall we pray? Lord God, thank you that we can come to you just as we are, with all the feelings and emotions that swirl around for us at different times, and in the midst of these times, Lord, speak into our hearts and still our souls. For as the psalmist speaks of needing you, longing, crying for you, so we come to you today in need of refreshing and renewing, in need of reassurance. Lord, draw close to us in this moment, we pray. Secure us in your presence. Remind us of who you are, the living God who is in all and through all, your power and authority undiminished, your love unchanging. For you gave us the greatest gift of all, when you sent Jesus, your Son, for us. So, Lord, may we rest secure in you, knowing you have and hold all things, and that you have and hold us even in these uncertain times, perhaps especially now, that we may respond as the psalmist calls, by placing our hope in you, our Saviour and our God. Amen. Our closing praise today is the hymn, As the Deer Pants for the Water.
As the deer pants for the water, so my soul longs after you. You alone are my heart's desire, and I long to worship you. You alone. You alone are my strength, my shield. To you alone may my spirit yield. You alone are my heart's desire, and I long to worship you. You're my friend, and you are my brother, even though you aren't a king. You're my